Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Juniversal month. Yes, we're now in. I'm that right in the way tonight. We're now in. It feels like it's off. 1999. I know I don't need to say this because you're gonna see them in order anyway, but I did go out of order again. Because the Small Soldiers, which was the one before this, I don't have a digital version of that, so I wanted to watch one at work. So instead I'm going to talk about the Mummy, and then I'll do Small Soldiers afterwards, and that'll be up before this because I'm doing them in the order of the year. But yes, the Mummy from 1999, which is a remake of the 1932 film of the same name, which I have reviewed. I did it last year for Juniversal Horror Month, but I figured I had to tackle this one. Maybe if I do another one, I'll do the 2017 one again. I'm not in a hurry to go back to that one by any means, but I don't know. Why not just do The Mummy Returns? I don't know. I may just revisit that on my own. But yes, it stars Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, and John Hannah. Not to be confused with the other John Hannah guy that had all the animals. And Arnold Vosloo, of course, Odette Fair. And Eric Ovari, who was in every desert movie ever. He's in this and Stargate. I don't know. But yes, you've seen the movie. This is a movie I have history with, actually. When it first came out, it was during a period. I've always been a horror fan, but in the late 90s, something happened. It kind of changed the way I looked at him a little bit. Like, I don't know, for some reason I started to get really afraid of him. And it was all Chucky's fault. Nah, of course it is. Because the Chucky had to change his face in 1998 for Bride of Chucky, and that scared me. And so seeing the Mummy pop up, kind of creeped me out. So I didn't watch it right away. And then eventually we got the VHS and I watched it and I went, this is actually pretty good. Why am I afraid of this? This is more Indiana Jones than it is horror. It is. I don't think I even keep this in the horror, the steelbook in the horror one. I think I put it in the regular one. I don't think I count it. It's more of an action adventure thing. You know? But yeah, and so that's... Why are you doing that one? Directed by Stephen Sommers, who brought us the 1994 Jungle Book remake, which is a good movie. Deep Rising, which is a good movie. Both the first two Mummy movies, which are good movies, despite some unfortunate CGI. The Adventures of Huck Finn. The Elijah Wood one. That's a good movie. He also did Van Helsing, which I will stand on this hill that it is a good movie. Okay? And the G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, also a good movie. And Thomas, which is a very good movie. Okay? So he did very good, I think. He didn't do Tom and Huck, but he was an executive producer and he was a writer, but he didn't direct that one. Peter Hewitt directed that one. Gunman. I've watched almost all of Summer's movies except for Perfect Alibi, or that is Catch Me If You Can, which is a car movie, and The Adventures of Huck Finn. I watched all the other ones. Yes, and it's about Mummy Imhotep, who did something very bad when he was alive. So he was mummified alive. We'll get into that. And now he's been brought back because of stupidity and a ridiculous curse that makes no sense. So now Rick O'Connell and his cohorts, of which is very dwindling allies in this film, like considered a librarian, her brother, a group of Americans who love to play with guns, an old British man, an Egyptian man with a fez, and an Egyptian leader of a group that, for some reason, we don't see any of the other groups to help them. And to, like, any members of the group, the Magi, no one else seems to want to help stop Imhotep at this. They're all in the second one, but like, he's the only one that goes. We start all the way back in 1290 BC in Thebes, Egypt. Thebes, city of the living. The narrator says, the narrator Oded Fair. Originally, they wanted Imhotep to be the one that narrated this, and then they realized, oh wait, he doesn't speak English, which makes sense at first, but I feel like throughout the film he should learn to speak English, but he doesn't. Even in the second one, he doesn't speak English. I don't know. Well, Imhotep has an affair with the Pharaoh Seti I, his mistress, Anaxunamun, or Anaxunamun, however you want to pronounce it. Anaxunamun in the original, Anaxunamun here. It's like how he comes. She has all this like gold. She's covered in gold paint, which Goldfinger tells us she would die from, and then black on there. He comes in, and Imhotep has smudged it, and he's like, "What happened?" And she's just like, guess we gotta kill you." And I'm just like the salt critic has a point. It's like, I had an itch. Like, you're supposed to have that paint, and I go, and no, they kill him, and so then the Pharaoh's bodyguards show up. His priests take him away, but they don't try to. She's like, "No, go, my love," and like his priests like drag him away. As her only way out of this is over my dead body. How does she do that? In a way, I give how to eat. And like, okay. Like, she's like, find a way to resurrect me. And I'm like, if you just... It's not like it was something like she was tortured for this, so they put her in a thing. No, it's that she just... So what I don't get is what his... Knowing what the plan is eventually to do later, I don't... Yeah. So, Imhotep and a priest steal Anaxunamun's corpse, and they take her to the city of Hamanatra to resurrect her. So he uses the spell, the Book of the Dead, and he uses it to bring her soul back from the underworld. And it goes into her body. And then he's about to stab her again. But in modern day, he's going to use Evie, as a sacrifice. So what was he going to do here? He was going to... What? I've always wondered, what was his plan here? Was he going to sacrifice himself? Was he going to do this? Because that's... I don't know. In this version, it's like, well, it worked. You got her soul back. Why do you need to do anything else? But no, it doesn't work. Her soul returns back to the underworld, and so he's given the worst curse of all curses, the Hamdai. He is buried alive. He's mummified alive, wrapped. Well, that's an ad. Wrapped in all of the wrappings, everything thrown in her tongue cut off. For some reason, the only reason his tongue is cut off so then it plays into something later. But it doesn't really make sense that they cut his tongue out. I don't know. And they put him in there and they cover him with the scarabs. flesh-eating scarabs, which we are told several times in this movie eat you very slowly. And it seems they only do that for Imhotep. Everyone else, they eat right away. So I don't know. And this curse is one of the dumbest curses you could ever have. So the curse is not just a curse on him. It's on those who should want to wake him up. If he is resurrected, because people like to do that, it will unleash a curse upon Egypt. The 10 plagues will come, even though they don't go through all 10. I'll get to it. I forgot to type that in, but and it would cause him to have immense power and strength and immortality. That's less of a curse for him than it is for us. I think. I don't. Anyway, fast forward to 1926 in Cairo, Egypt. No, we're missing a part. I'm assuming it's still 1926, but Rick O'Connell and a troop of the French Foreign Legion, 3 years earlier, so it's 1923. And the French Foreign Legion and Benny, played by Kevin J. O'Connor, who's in every Stephen Sommers movie after Deep Rising, from Deep Rising on, I should say, and they're in Hamunaptra, and they're being fought after by, I think they're fighting the Magi, but it doesn't work. They make it to the city, but then everything goes wrong, and O'Connell's the only one that survives. Benny runs away, and the Magi just let him go. Now it's 1926, and we meet Evie Conahan, who is a librarian, as she will tell you. And we get a little slapstick here as she's trying to put the books back in the right place. She messes up. Somehow, this little woman is able to knock down every single shelf in the library in Egypt, in Cairo. I don't know. I really don't know. Was she able to do that? And what I didn't notice though this time is Mr. Bay, Mr. Dr. Terrence Bay, no relation to Ardith Bay, is why do I tolerate you? Oh, because your parents donate a tremendous amount of money to this place. Pick it all back up. You expect this woman to pick up the shelves and put everything back. So despite that there was electricity in the room with the books, she goes into one of the tombs. And I'm like, yeah, the subject has a point, the torches in the room with the ancient Egyptian artifacts. That's smart. I guess it's for authenticity? I guess. I don't know. But she's jump scared by her brother Jonathan. Like John Hannah, my favorite side characters ever. He's funny. I think he's funny. And he's he does desecrate the tomb of a mummy in death at some point. But I don't know. He presents her with what they realize is a key and a map. It's a little box with a map that they believe leads to Hamunaptra. When they present this to Dr. Bay, he quite obviously, purposely burns the part with Hamunaptra on it. It is painfully obvious, and nobody gets this because they can't. It's like, oh, I burned it. Now you never know. And they're like, huh? Nobody points out that it's okay. What they don't know, Jonathan is told that it was a dig that he was on. What nobody else knows is that actually he pickpocketed off of O'Connell, who's about to be hanged. Why? We never learn that why. All we know is that he had a very good time. That he was just looking for a good time. We also meet the warden, played fantastically by Omid Djali, who I know from the short-lived sitcom Whoopi, starring Whoopi Goldberg. He was the concierge guy or whatever. I love. He was Hasim, and Hasim or Kasim? Is that Hasim? Kasim is from is Aladdin's dad, isn't it? That's his name, Kasim. I don't know. So I want a little bit more actually. Spishy splashy. So they get to him, and he's like, "You get me out of here, and I will take you to Hamanatra." So, uh, she then, how she's able to sit in the place with the warden, other than he's just horny for her, makes no sense. I don't know. She bribes him with money, 25% of what they find, and then, but he is hung, but his neck did not break. Now we must watch him strangled to death. Yeah. So, yeah. They're after the golden book of Amun Ra, which is made of gold. Yeah. And of course, Jonathan wants treasure, so he agrees to take her to Amnatra. And the next day, he's got a shave and a haircut. 2 bits. Yes, and they're ready to go. And now, after calling him a complete scoundrel, after he forcibly kissed her, she sees him all haircut and everything. He's like, oh, well, now he's a sexy man. Yeah. And while on this ship, they meet Americans who are also after Hamanatra, and O'Connell finds out that Benny, still alive, is the one taking on the expedition. He's been hiding this whole time from O'Connell. Yeah. And then a bunch of what I always presumed to be bad guys. I didn't realize it till recently. These are Magi. Why are the Magi? I was like, oh, these are bad. And if you want to ask, well, who do you think they were? I thought they were other bad guys after the map to get the Hamanatra, right? Or after they want to get the Hamanatra. That's what I thought. I never thought to me that they were actually Magi. You know, especially the guy with the thing. I got a thing. The hook or whatever, the little blade on his finger, the hook. You could set on fire. But yeah, they escape off the boat. I do like how he's like to the warden. He's like, "What do I do? Stay here. I'll come back for help." Okay. No, he jumps up. The warden shows up because he wants an investment. He's there for comedy because Jonathan's not enough apparently. They don't really use him enough though. This is like the one time, and the rope thing when they keep on trying to hit him with the rope. But anyway, yeah, the Magi ambush the expeditions. No, that's later. They are cutting through this movie. So and of course, I gotta talk about this part. Hey, O'Connell, looks to me like I got all the horses. Hey, Benny, looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river. Yeah. So they get camels. You get your very own camel. Watch out, they spit. Yeah, and so they use that. And somehow, in this movie, camels are faster than horses. No, they're not. No. But Evan, here's the thing. Watching it this time, a thought crossed my mind. So they sit there as the sun comes up. And as the sun comes up, they sit there. The city is not there. They're like, where's the city? And I'm watching this part. I'm going, wait, because you're sitting there. The city's not there because it's dark, and sun raises up, and the city is then shown. I'm like, oh, Hamanatra as I live and breathe. And I'm like, wait. Imhotep brought Anaxunamun's body to Hamanatra at night. Why could you see it then? What? Why? And just so you know, this never happens again. It doesn't go away when it becomes nighttime. That would be a ticking clock element they could use. No, they just did it once. This once. And never again. It's nighttime, they're just there. And they get there and they go down, and there are two different nights. This first night, they're like, oh, the Americans are like, we're gonna dig here. No, we're gonna dig here. No. And everyone notices that there's like something underneath. They're like, oh, you know what? Let them have this and we'll go somewhere else. They go underneath. And they're gonna dig there for they find the mummy. They can't open it yet. But they can. Because they don't open it though. Not yet. It's I'm trying to remember, but it jumps around. Because here it goes with Goose finds himself with American Exposition, guided by Rick Scarlett, former Legionnaire Benny. And then it cuts to the Medjai ambush exposition. That's a whole day and night that they skipped in this. They skip how they got there, when they got there, what happens the first day, and just cuts to the second night where they tell them to leave. Or this is maybe the first night. It's the first night. Yeah. Because they're digging around, and the warden he gets attacked by one of the scarabs, which goes all the way up to his brain and causes him to Curly from the Three Stooges into the wall. Just runs, he's dead from a head injury. I don't know, but he's dead now. The Americans have found the canopic jars which contain Anaxunamun's organs, which is something everyone seems to miss from this. I've seen people do reviews where they don't, like Nostalgia Critic wrongfully says they're Imhotep's organs. No, they're not. He was mummified alive. They didn't take any organs out. They're Anaxunamun's organs that he was going to use when he brought it back. But all of a sudden, he doesn't need them anymore. They just use them as a way for him to get each. Probably not useful anymore anyway, but I don't know. I also want to point out that he doesn't need a sacrifice to bring Anaxunamun back in the second one. So why? Does he stab her? I don't know. He gets the Patricia. But I don't know. I don't know anymore. But he asked what the jars are, and there people got. And he has the book. I guess they don't have the jars yet. That's the next one. But I heard you guys found a nice gooey mummy. Then the Magi show up, and it's like, oh, leave or die. Bye. I'm like, what? Okay. They go up, they attack people. They're like, leave or die. So it kind of has like a stick of dynamite that he lights. It takes forever to get for the fuse to come down. And then he's just like, I'm like, tell the Looney Tunes that's how it works. It would still explode. It's Looney Tunes. What are you talking about? No. And they're like, when they open this thing, Betty's like, no, it's a curse. He's a curse. It's also a curse. By the way, he's so much Bartok from Anastasia. Oh, sir, so happy to see you again. Yeah, they find the Book of the Dead, which is not made of gold. It's black. Like you said, it was made of gold. That's the Book of Amun-Ra. This is something else. It's the Book of the Dead. Yeah. Oh, I forgot the moment where everyone gets drunk after the Magi have arrived and said, leave or die. Now they just get drunk because the warden had alcohol. And we get she's like, I know what you're asking. What is a place like me doing in a girl like this? Something like that. Yeah. He goes, and I'm going to kiss you now. Face plant right into his crotch, which is, she said kiss. That's more than, she passes out and he's like, it's like that. So it's the next day and they open where the mummy is. And he's still decomposing. And they talk about but no, that's the first day. I just remember, because he's looking through the scarabs, I think. No, that's the second day. Never mind. She's going through the scarabs. Second day. Anyway, they find the scarabs in there and they ate him slowly. Apparently, they eat no one else slowly ever. They don't. But they ate him very slowly. He's still decomposing, I guess. And so then, that night, she steals the book, opens it, and just reads from it. And apparently, the first thing on the first page of the book is just the spell that brings people back from the dead. I guess. So, yeah, that brings Imhotep back, and he's a big CGI monstrosity. But I'll tell you what, he looks better than the Scorpion King in the second one. Everyone's like, oh, he looks goofy. There is that one where he becomes a meme face. Whatever he does, but yeah. And so now he's after each of them for their organs. And Mr. Burns is first. He takes out his eyes and his tongue. And he sees Evelyn. He's like, Anaxunamun? They're not even the same skin color. What the... I mean, it is explained later that it really doesn't make sense either because, I thought it was explained there because, she's the reincarnation of the Pharaoh's daughter according to the second one. This is where I visited, so I'm full spoiling everything. And I always thought, well, then Noxuna is the Pharaoh's mistress, not daughter. I don't know. So, yeah, and, so, here's my question. When everything starts to go to shit and the bugs show up, they all run, because, okay, so when he comes up, it's the plagues of Egypt. Let me look this up. Plagues of Egypt. Okay, so the first one that comes up is locusts. Cover everyone. And they all run into the tomb, which is smart, I guess. They run in there, and that's where Imhotep is, and he kills Mr. Burns. I guess Smithers is free. And, so there's a point where they run. They're running from the bugs, and then the three of them jump onto the side things, and they kind of run. They let the bugs run off. They go in that direction. And then Evie kind of gets separated from them. A trapdoor that is there on one of those things for some reason. And then the Americans come, they're like, Evie, Evelyn, Evie! And then the Americans come running back the other way from where the bugs were. Run, you sons of bitches! And they jump out and run with them, and I'm just like, but they were safe there because they jumped there to hide from them the first time. I don't know. And then they find her. I love how O'Connell is like, there you are. You keep playing around. Ah! And he sees the mummy. Ah! Shoots him. You released the creature. Relax, I took care of him. No mortal weapon can kill this creature. Like I told you, I took care of him. He fights Benny and only agrees to keep Benny alive because he can speak Hebrew. He tries several languages. One in which the subtitles says is gibberish. That one, it comes up gibberish. Really? Is that really gibberish, or is that a language that the subtitles on Fandango couldn't surmise? I don't know. But yes, he spares Benny's life because he can speak Hebrew, and then they go back to Cairo. I like how they're having an argument, and he's trying to pack the suitcase. She keeps taking it back out. That's kind of funny. But Benny has brought Imhotep there, and we get the first there, which is hail. Is that what that's supposed to be? Right? When the I thought it was meteors. Is that supposed to be hail that falls down? Right? Because it looks like meteors or comets. That's supposed to be hail, because that's what it says here, hail. And then we get the water turning to blood. I think water turning to blood is first, then hail. Darkness, which is the moon, which is an eclipse, of course. Flies, which come from his mouth. And then the last one is boils and sores. So that's six out of the 10. There's still 4 other ones. No frogs, no lice, no livestock death, and no death of the firstborn, which would have been something, because that would have put a ticking clock element on Jonathan. Like, the firstborn are going to die. And it's like, oh, this is the firstborn. I will kill your brother if you don't come with me. That could have worked through Imhotep's thing, but no, they do it. That could be an element of how he can get her to cooperate, but no. Then he assimilates several of the people. Mr. Burns is first. And it's funny, because he and Benny go in there, he assimilates Mr. Burns. And then when O'Connell and Jonathan show up, the cat's in there. And Imhotep's afraid of the cat. But wasn't the cat in there before? So what? I don't know. And so he takes off, and he turns to the sand and takes off. And then okay, O'Connell, not the master of making plans. Okay, Evie, you stay here. The 3 of you come with me. That's kind of smart. I would change that, though. And then it's then after having an argument with Evie, he puts her in a room and says, okay, you 2 watch her. Jonathan, come with me. That's kind of not smart. I forgot to mention they introduce us to Winston when they get at the bar drinking the whiskey and it turns into blood. But, and it's why? Winston, of course, played by Bernard Fox, who is the Chairman Mouse in The Rescuers. But why would you? So he just takes Jonathan, thinking, nope, these 2 can protect her more than her own brother. Now, I know they're trying to protect her because he wants her to be an oxygen on the moon or whatever. But these 2 managed to be nothing. He's like, do you want something to drink? Oh yeah, give me a glass of bourbon. And a shot of bourbon. And a bourbon chaser. All right, you get your damn bourbon. He just wants bourbon. Stephen Dunham, rest in peace. He gets assimilated in the sand. I love the effect that it's a skeleton. I love that. And he shows up and he turns into sand and goes in. His gooey mouth all over her. Then Rick bursts in. And watching this scene, when he bursts into the door, he is clearly holding nothing. And then out of nowhere, he's like, it's a kitty, kitty, kitty. Where did he get the cat from? Jonathan wasn't holding it either, if you're wondering. Maybe Jonathan handed it to him. No, they both bust in and they're both holding nothing. And all of a sudden he's got a magic cat. That happens in this movie. Like Imhotep bribes Benny. He's like, the treasures would be immense. And it's like, where did he get the gold from? Did he pull it from his crotch? What the hell? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So they end up going to the Cairo Museum where they realize that the Mr. Terrence Bay, Eric Avari's character, is with the Magi. Oh, no shit! And they still don't call him out. Oh, you burned it on purpose. No, they never call him out for that. But they're like, okay. And they're like, why is he afraid of cats? Maybe that's before this. I think that's before that. Because he brings the cat and does that. I guess. I don't know. Cats are the guardians of the underworld, and they're afraid of them. He'll be afraid of them until he's complete, which that's they're not afraid of them. They're buried with their cats. It never made sense to me, but whatever. So, come back here. I won't even sacrifice me. Yeah, because then everyone... Yeah, because then that guy dies. Okay. They get away. Boils and swords. Everyone is under the mind control too. Imhotep. Jonathan's a smart motherfucker. He gets out there and starts running and he sees it. He's like, Imhotep. And I like how they're running, and then when Caesar starts doing that, everyone else just starts doing that again. And then he like gets the car and finds them, but saves them. But like, for Mr. What was Stephen Dunham's character, by the way? Henderson. So this is Daniels. Corey Johnson is Daniels. Daniels, he gets assimilated, and so he's whole now. Because they assimilated Robin Williams' dad from Jumanji earlier, because he had the book. So then they had the book, and everyone is like, they drive through everyone, and that's how Daniels gets taken. And then so they run. They drive actually, and run. Where is it? Derp. By the way, if you watch the Nostalgia Critics review of this, and you're watching it every time, and you know what the joke that he does in that review. Every time O'Connell says a one-liner, derp, I do that automatically. You're not helping. Patience is a virtue. Not right now, it isn't. Derp. This just keeps getting better and better. Derp. Yeah. But so Imhotep agrees to let them live if Evelyn... And again, you could just... Then the plague of the firstborn son, I will spare Jonathan's life if you come with me. I like how Benny is translating. Come with me and be mine forever, for all eternity, you idiot. I do want to point out that I think Benny is not completely, totally evil. And let me explain. There are points where he like turns away from what it is. He explains to O'Connell he's only doing this to keep himself alive. During the point where like he's trying to use a ceiling fan to threaten him, that's not gonna do anything but just hit him in the head. Then from it, like you can cut his head off, but like it's not spinning that fast. It's like this. So it's just gonna go. If anything, it'll just hit him and stop. And I don't know. He'll still be in pain, I guess. Maybe we'll get a mark on his faux head. I don't know. But I don't know. So you let him go. He says, "Take me to Hamanatra." She's right. She is right. My head hurts now. I did that. But he tells him to kill them all, which is not what he says later to kill them all. In Setna, which is kill them all. He goes, Inna Kekayo, which is, I don't know. And they start to kill him. But the curator sacrifices himself so the others can get away. And they need a hero. So they go to Winston, Mr. Chairman Mouse himself, who agrees to do it because he might not survive. So they get on this plane, and it's a two-seater. So they have Ardith Bay and Jonathan strapped to the wings, which wouldn't work because you need the wings to be free of clutter in order to take off. With them on the wings, it would weight it down and not allow it to be aerodynamic enough to go. But whatever, it's a movie. Somehow, both them and Imhotep and Benny and Evie arrive in by Hamunaptra at about the same time. And he out there at the same time. Despite being different, he turn into sand and disappear with them, and he's able. And like, oh, I love how you do it the same. Magnificent bastard. Another point, he's just in it for to not die. But they arrive and he turns into a big sand thing to take them down. They all survive except for Winston, who dies in quicksand, which is the only quicksand we see in this movie. And they... Jonathan, like the warden before him, finds the bug and it nearly goes in him, like it was doing to our smelly friend. But O'Connell, do something here. Not that! He cuts it out, shoots it, which alerts Imhotep that they're still alive and there. So that was stupid. So Imhotep regenerates his priests, which he should have done to begin with. I know he didn't have the book, but still, he uses it. And then he starts, while they are fighting O'Connell and Jonathan, he starts the ritual, which brings Anaxunu back into her body, mummified body. And then, I'm losing it. And then they get a hold of the book, but he can't open it without the key, which is in his but he's able to read something that unleashes more mummies, but Imhotep is able to control them because he can't figure out how to control them. He then, with help from Evelyn, Evie, as she fights, I like to say Evie, that's why I keep correcting myself, as she fights Anaxunamun's corpse, is like, it's a metaphus. Hosetima metaphus, which now he controls the mummies. Vankushma Anaxunamun. I know some of this. And they kill Anaxunamun. Nah, Anaxunamun! Now he's pissed. So then she is able to open it and read the book. Kadishmal, Kadishmal. Paradus, Paradus. It should say the same thing twice. Two things twice. Which doesn't kill him. I thought you said it was gonna kill him. And he just gets stabbed. He's mortal. And he dies. Death is only the beginning. Dies. Meanwhile, Benny has been stealing a lot of gold to get away, and he has to take a break. He puts on this lever, which conveniently makes it fall, makes the whole place is going to now fall to pieces, which I don't know if that was needed, but sure, whatever. Now it's a ticking clock element that I was mentioning earlier, and they run, and they get out, but Benny dies, even though he's supposedly coming back for the new one. I don't know. But somehow Benny returned. There's your Star Wars reference, okay? They get out and they're like, oh, we got out with nothing. And this actually does point this out. Jonathan, he's like, well, but, And he turned around. He's like, in that time that you did, you could have grabbed some stuff, but no. And he drops the book into the bat stuff too. But I think they still have the key though. They get out. And, oh, we got out, but we have nothing to, nothing for it. She's like, I don't know about that. And they go like, please. And then I like it. Well, what you done? It'll kiss me with. Whew. It turns out I forgot. I totally forgot about Oded, Ardith Bay, who sacrificed himself earlier by blowing up a bunch of mummies, but he's just fine. Just but a scratch, and the U2, and he takes off. He's just gonna leave us here with nothing. You have the camels, and they also have the asshole. They also have the treasure. So there's that one. Yes, and the movie ends. Boom, 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 with a very good Jerry Goldsmith score, which is fantastic. I love Jerry Goldsmith. But may he rest in peace. Is he dead? Did he die? Yes, 2004 he died. No, so rest in peace, sir. But yeah, it's a good movie, and I would even say it goes to the moon. I know that the other people say with the CGI is there. I don't know. I don't let that stuff like that take the movie down. I've watched this a million times. I love the movie. I had so much fun watching it. Derp. Especially this time. Derp. But, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Tamami? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.